Okay. So in 2026 specifically, I
Mm.
would tell you to pump the brakes because right now,
Yeah.
right now is not the time.
Yeah.
Now, that said, if you live in a community that's desperate for one and you don't have a array around you and the internet's the only other source and you have the time to dedicate to it, maybe a different story. I've said the same thing that the perfect homebrew store right now is one that's stocked like ours because we are extremely well stocked. That is something that carried over from the previous owner to me that I'm
Oh.
very, 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 very thankful for. Um, if you can keep the level of stock that we do to maintain the vendor relationships that you have and work part time, that's the way to go. So this would be ideal. The ideal homebrew shop owner is somebody that's like, let's say in retirement, that's into the hobby, that wants to dedicate
Mm-hmm.
a few days a week to it and just have some fun in the shop doing it. Because right now, and I'm talking 2026, the state we're
Mm-hmm.
in is that homebrew shops are not, you're not hitting revenue goals. It just isn't happening unless you know something vastly different from me. You're working with the fact that you have historical relationships or you are the only game in town and you're able to make things work in that way. Um,
Right.
that is just a systematic, symptom of the other thing that you mentioned earlier with alcohol consumption in general being down
Mm-hmm.
and beer consumption
Mm-hmm.
being way down. It just is. Everything in our world works in cycles. I have this big theory that I won't spend time on now about how the IPA has essentially driven the end of the craft beer boom because we were all like every brewery was forcing IPAs around because they were selling.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make an IPA and not be a very good brewer. Just an FYI for anybody looking to make a style. And now that people are demanding something that is more delicate or more refreshing or more crisp,
Mm-hmm.
you're seeing a lot of fallout because people can't keep up with that anymore. A lot of people didn't even
Right.
necessarily have the ability to lager, but now you need that. So, to answer your question, in 2026, I think I've laid it out that way. I
Mm-hmm.
think that in beer in general, we see probably in the next, my guess is 3 years, we'll see another ramp up. We're already seeing in the craft beer world, in the pro brewing world, we're already seeing lagers competing against IPAs and running neck to neck. So I
Okay.
think that we'll have a good reset with lagers, and then all the other styles that kind of stem out from there will take hold.
Mm-hmm.
People will stop relating craft beer to hoppiness and go back to the idea of flavor in a beer. And I think that in 2 to 3 years we'll see a much different landscape.
Yeah, I could see that point of view because I usually judge a lot of excuse me, not home brews, but craft breweries by their lagers. I use I'll
You
order
have
a
to,
lager,
yeah, it's
and
the
if,
smartest thing
and
to do.
if yeah, and if their lager is good, the rest of the beer more often than not it's going to be fine. If their lager is
Yeah,
not so
that's
good, you can, like you said, you can cover up so much stuff off flavors. I've even heard of some craft breweries blending batches to get a beer that's drinkable so they can, basically make a profit. Um, so
I mean, you
I
got to do
believe it.
what
I'm
you got
sure
to
it does
do,
happen as
and
well.
I don't fault
Hmm.
anybody for those moves. It's a business, and you have
No.
to sell it. Dumping a batch of beer is not something that's
Hmm.
it's possible for a lot of breweries right
Oh,
now. So if you can find a way to
I
salvage
couldn't
it,
even imagine
freaking
how much that would
salvage it.
cost. Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
but
Exactly.
at the same way, Jeremy, that is how hazy beers became a thing. It was an error.
Hmm.
A hazy beer was a
Hmm.
sign of a bad, not bad tasting, but a beer that wasn't produced in the correct way, and it got a name for itself. And
Hmm.
the folks in Vermont at Alchemist Brewing did a great job with it. And now it's killer. They do. I mean, that's the heady topper
Hmm.
is the thing that created it all. And I I could be wrong on this. This is my assessment, but I can't imagine a sour beer came around because people were like, "Here's what I'm gonna do." It just happened, and then you make a name out of it and let it roll from there.
Right. Yep. That's very true.